Hey everyone, and welcome back to another day in the life/study with me style video. Today is Tuesday and I woke up at around 6 a.m. Unfortunately, I didn't get as much sleep last night as I wanted to, but I'm trying to find a rhythm, and to do so I'm waking up at the same time every day regardless of how much I slept the night before. I start the day with a nice cup of black coffee and some scrambled eggs, all made with love. This is all paired very nicely with some Anki reviews to get the day started. I'm preparing to take the MCAT at the end of the summer, and for the next couple of weeks I'll also be working in the research lab, so it's a lot to manage at the same time. The summer semester has started and it's really crunch time at the lab, so this morning I'm heading to Jupiter to work on some data analysis and try to get as many videos analyzed as possible in my time over there. It usually takes me like 35 to 40 minutes to drive there, and on the way I listen to a mix of the MCAT podcast and some vallenato tunes to get in the right mindset for what's about to come. From 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. I track on EthoVision in the lab and listen to the MCAT podcast in an attempt to make the most of this time. I also wore my new cowboy boots to show them off to Allie, and luckily I was able to get her genuine reaction to my fresh new kicks, so please enjoy. After getting through a couple of videos in lab, I head home to do some French practice to make sure that I can keep my level throughout the semesters, because this semester I'm not taking any classes. I also have been working with a tutor that I found on italki, which has been a pretty affordable way to find a French native speaker to keep conversing with, and my lesson for today is at 12 p.m. But on the way home, I snack on my absolute favorite thing in the world, which is Go-Go Squeeze. It's basically like a pureed fruit snack, and I definitely recommend. It's such a good way to get in your 5 fruits a day, and it's absolutely delicious. So at 12 p.m. I have my French lesson with my italki tutor. In today's lesson, we talked about different ways to explain what neuroscience is and kind of what my plan of study is, because that's something that I'd likely have to talk about if I were going to meet someone, especially if I let them know that I'm studying neuroscience. By the end of our lesson, I learned how to say what the 5 senses are in French, and also how to explain how we study them a little bit. And I also attempted to explain how I'm going about getting my degree in the States, but that was kind of a mess. But it was a great opportunity to practice speaking, and it was really funny at the end, actually. Since I spent the whole morning speaking a mix of English and Spanish, I had a more difficult time transitioning to speaking French than I usually do. So I think for the next time, I'm gonna make sure that I have some sort of like warm up before I do my tutoring session, because I realized that I really wasn't gonna get the most of it if I'm fumbling for words like the whole time. And hopefully this will help me transition easier in the future. After the tutoring session, I take some time and grab lunch and eat with my wonderful family. This break time also provides a pretty good opportunity to mentally prepare for the next couple hours of MCAT grind that are about to come my way. Yesterday night, I made a list of some things I want to get through for today, which include Anki reviews and hopefully getting to apply the topics using the questions on UWorld. UWorld is basically a question bank that simulates the AAMC kind of style. So it really looks like how the real MCAT will look, and I think it's been a pretty good resource so far. I do think I might need to pivot my schedule soon, but at the moment I'm just taking things one step at a time. On Anki, I've been using the Miles Down deck, which I'll make sure to include the link in the description below in case you want to use the same one. I've also been using QBean to drill Psych-Soc every day, so that's been super helpful overall. So far, I've gotten through a full set of the chapter cards in the QBean deck, and I still need to work my way through the other 5 sections, but this has been a pretty promising start. I've also been focusing quite a bit on learning the information from the biology section, since I heard on the MCAT podcast that the biology concepts are applicable to all 4 sections of the MCAT, so if you kind of have a good foundation in those, it's easier to answer the other questions on the exam. The other day I watched this video about someone who scored in the 100th percentile on the MCAT, and they said that they had mainly done UWorld and then used Anki to fill their knowledge gaps. And I think I need to pivot to do this, because I've been reading a lot of textbooks every day to try to wrap up my content review sessions, and it's just really not the best or most productive solution for me, so I gotta change things up. So today, the main goal is to get through all of my Anki reviews and encode some of the new cards from the biology and general chemistry sections. This can be a pretty lengthy task, and it usually takes me around 2 hours to get this done. So I'm going to get started on that right away. Also on the menu for today is to get through 2 hours of UWorld practice. And like we said before, it's kind of like a question bank, and it also provides pretty good tutorials, so I also think I'm going to spend 2 hours on it. This is a pretty dense schedule as is, and in order to tackle this, my strategy is to break it down using the Pomodoro technique. The Pomodoro technique is a strategy in which we break down the study sessions into generally 25-minute work to 5-minute break blocks. I absolutely love to use this to get through all of the reviews for the day, and the time breakdown that I'm going to be focusing on is the 30-minute working to 5-minute break and the 45-minute working to 10-minute break sessions. And the goal is to simultaneously train my attention span to get used to functioning at high levels for longer and sustained intervals, so that's kind of why I'm doing a mix. I think this is a great time to caveat that while most days for studying for the MCAT can range from 8 to 12 hours a day, not every day can be tackled with absolute 100% intensity. And that being said, it's important to take breaks and to pace yourself because the MCAT is ultimately a marathon and not a sprint. So consistency and pacing are just as important as intensity. Alright, so thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know what you thought of this video. And also, are you also studying for the MCAT? Let me know below. And lastly, if you're interested in joining the newsletter list, I send out a newsletter in which I discuss topics like attention, productivity, and health. And most recently, I've also been talking about the MCAT grind. So I send it out usually once every 2 weeks, and I'll put the link in the description below if you want to join. And I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Bye.